I don't make that mistake again. But today we're going to be covering something that a lot of people think is just unattainable, and they really always say, I want to feel like I have more time. I want to be better, plan better, whatever it is. You know, none of us are strangers to kind of self-deprecating. But a lot of people feel like it's just completely up to the fact that their life is hectic, and that's why they're super stressed or running around, or the day runs away with them. And a lot of people are like, well, what does that have to do with food? It has everything to do with food, and not even just in the prep sense. How many of you guys watching this have had a particularly crazy day and you felt like you spent the whole day at the gym, even if it was just at work? So you're like justifying eating things that you usually wouldn't even eat, or like 3 times as much as you even want or are hungry for. It's just an instinct. You know, comfort foods are real. So, you know, or how many of you guys will feel really down on yourselves if you have a particularly chaotic day because for some reason you can't get it under control. And then that filters into, why even try dieting? It doesn't work for me. You know, so there are so many demotivating things, and a lot of it centers around feeling out of control of our day. So today I'm going to give you guys some tips. You know, we don't have a ton of time to go into every little thing nitty gritty, but whether I've had this kind of call with you already, some of you have been through the structuring call, or whether, you know, it's something for us to visit on our next call. Talking about it a little bit today gives us something to work with. It starts the convo. So those of you who are new to Zoom, I'm not entirely sure where it is on mobile, but I think if you go to participants or something, there's an option to find the chat. So if at any point you want to ask a question, I love getting feedback. So if you're like, this is amazing, like, feel free, share whatever during this Zoom. Okay, and I'll read it off in the chat. If you have questions, I'll read it at the end. Okay, so today's topic is going to be what I call eating the frog. And I'm sure a lot of you guys, you saw that and you were like, what the hell does that mean? Like, this is the diet, we're going to be eating frogs? No, it's a philosophy I have. I mean, if you like eating frogs, get down with yourself. I don't know, but it's not really my taste. So, but it's a philosophy that has a lot to do with controlling your day, which is only going to be as doable as we make it. So the first thing is, we decide how stressed we are. And I know that statement, when I first heard it, or when I first started thinking about it, I was like, there's no friggin' way. There's no way that I could decide how I feel every day, because my life is chaotic. It's just nuts from start to finish. And I found that if you haven't done any law of attraction work with me yet, or you haven't dove into that at all, don't know what it is, disregard this. But those of you who know what I mean, when we affirm or confirm the things we don't want to experience, or the things we don't want to be living through, it's keeping us right in that mindset of we can never get out of it. You know, by saying things like, I have no time. I just need to get better. I just need to plan better. All of these things, like, okay, but what does saying them and stating them do? It just makes us think, it reconfirms it in our head again, that that's where we're stuck, that we're stuck with having no time and nothing will make it better. And we're just hopeless cases. Well, we are as much as we say we are. So that's the first thing, is when you're, you know, mind your verbiage when you're in the middle of stress, because that's the number one time that everyone is like, oh my God, it's never going to get better. That's especially when you have to remind yourself and say, all right, it's a busy day. I got this. Okay. So your first tip is decide how stressed you want to be. Decide if you want to be in control of your day. And if you know it's a crazy day, take the power away by literally saying to yourself, it's just a chaotic day. I got this. Like, I'm going to do the best I can. Because whether we're saying that or we're saying, oh my God, I'm pulling my hair out, I'm so stressed, what a crazy day. Whatever, if you're saying one or the other, it doesn't affect the craziness of the day. It just affects how you feel in the midst of the craziness of your day. And as you guys all know, controlling our stress is just paramount to helping us control our hormones or control our binge eating patterns. So I want you to focus on your verbiage, 100%. And text me if you're in the middle of stress and you're finding it too difficult to do that for yourself, because you can. Or message the chat. You got like like 500 people in there that'll be like, no, girl, you got this. So let's see here. Start with saying things like, I want my day to be more controlled and calm. The minute that you sit down to plan your day, which I'm going to get into in a minute, I want you to say it to yourself, like, I want my days to be more controlled and calm. It gets you, in a weird way, it gets your brain ready to accept new information. When you start something by proclaiming your goal, it makes your brain want the information and want the confirmation that you're going to do that. Because that's basically what anxiety is. Anxiety is the feeling of imminent failure or danger without any real logic behind it. So when we're able to feed our brain some kind of a power phrase, a lot of you will hear me say that all the time. You know, what's a power phrase we could say right now? It would just be, I want my days to be more in control and calm. And then stop waiting for life to settle itself down. It ain't gonna. It is too crazy to live in 2019. Like, we're all just trying to pay our bills, eat right for our body, maintain healthy relationships, self-care, this, that, the other thing, look on social media, and somewhere in between all of that, be a real human. So stop waiting for life to settle itself down or feel like you're a victim to it. It's going to be about taking it, pardon the language, taking it by the balls and being like, no, we're going to control this right now. Like, we got this, okay? The next thing is, the only thing you can control with certainty is your ability to adapt. You could sit there and plan and plan and plan. And I'm sure all of you know from past experiences and just in general that nothing can go according to plan, or everything can go according to plan. We can't plan for that. But what we can plan for is our ability to adapt as things happen, as things come our way. As long as we are understanding that we are capable of adapting and just handling whatever comes our way, it takes the pressure off of the unknown, of some event at work, you know, a new meeting at work coming and just kicking you in the ass, or just something out of the ordinary. When you can plan to adapt, you're prepared a little bit better for things that won't go according to plan. So everything I'm going to tell you today, if you're not perfect at this and it's still difficult for you to schedule things, it's still difficult for you to even sit down and look at your schedule, that's fine. That's part of the progress. All you have to keep telling yourself is, I have the ability to adapt. Okay? So now we're going to get into the how-to. So I'm going to explain a few things to you. One, eat the frog. I'm going to tell you guys what that means because I'm sure everyone's like wondering. But say you have a plate and that plate has your favorite food on there, right? It's got this really nice filet mignon, tons of like carb-free mashed potatoes and french fries that you could just eat like as many as you want of, like just the best plate ever. And there's also a frog on there. And it's a nasty looking frog. It's a damn toad, right? You're like, I don't want anything to do with this. But you have to eat it to be able to eat the other things that are on there. And you can pick if you want to eat the frog first, or if you want to enjoy all the delicious goodness and leave the frog for last. Which one do you pick? Human nature makes us pick all the good food first and leave the thing we're dreading for the absolute last. The way that we feel super just crappy at the end of a busy day is when we leave that frog for last. We no longer have anything to look forward to. And now we're still dreading the frog, but on top of it, we know that that frog's all we got. It's all that's left. And we have to do it. We have to eat it. It also like just ruins your night, right? Because you get a gross toad, like, ew. So my whole thought behind this is, when you start your day, and I'm going to explain to you the processes to go through the day with, you want to think about eating the frog. And that is, eat the frog first. Get it out of the way. Get that done with, and you will feel so accomplished that as you sit there, you enjoy your plate of delicious food that's left behind. You're going to be like, oh my God, I'm so glad I got the frog over with. Like, I'm loving these carb-free French fries. Like, I'm going to eat the hell out of these fries, right? And it just makes you feel very accomplished. It makes you feel accomplished. It makes you look forward to the rest of your day a little bit more. And you got the hard part over with. It's a seemingly simple concept, but we never enact it in things like work or chores at home or anything really, anything that we don't enjoy. We pretty much avoid the things that we hate. I know I do or did. You know, when I was like broke as anything, I wouldn't open my mail. I'd get bills in, collection notices, and I wouldn't open my mail. Not that that made the bills go away. It just, I avoided it because I didn't want to deal with it. If I didn't open it, it didn't exist. And that was definitely not the right way to be. Definitely landed me in a lot more trouble. But at the end of the day, we all do it to some extent. So eat the frog first. Remember that. It's going to be a theme through the rest of the stuff that I explain. So when you start your day, here's the first thing. I want you guys to stop being afraid of your schedule and stop being afraid to map things out. Do you know the amount of times I talk to a client and they're like having a meltdown? It's an emergency call. We have to squeeze one in. You know, you would think that something like absolutely catastrophic is going on. And then we get on the call and they're just like, I'm so overwhelmed. I have so much to do. And I'm like, oh my God, all right, let's list this out. Let's get to it. Tell me what you got to do. And as they're writing it, they're literally saying to me, I guess it's really not much when it's on paper, but it feels like a whole lot. And that is every single time. Every time. Whenever we feel overwhelmed by something, it's because it's swirling up here with all the other thoughts that we have to think throughout the day. Also, biologically, women are multitaskers. We are thinking 10 steps ahead because biologically we have to care for offspring and things like that. So we're just built that way to be multitaskers. With that comes a lot of stress because it's hard to separate and focus. I mean, for me, with ADHD, it's like impossible to focus, but in general, it's really hard. So that's where overwhelm comes from. It's the colliding of multiple thoughts and multiple things that we have to get done and not mapping it out. Our brain can't keep track of things really well. Like, it can't prioritize, list, and memorize things in order and separate it like you would in a notebook. So everything swirling around up there leads to this feeling of lack of control and just genuine overwhelm, which makes you usually freeze and just want to not do anything, just go back to bed or just sit on the couch when you get home and then beat yourself up for sitting on the couch when you get home. Is this relating to anybody listening? Give me some feedback in the comments. What's really standing out to you? And I can tell, I wonder how many of you guys are like sitting there like doing this. I see Ashley doing it. But yeah, it's just, it's everybody. Everybody has that overwhelming anxiety of, I have so much to do. And a lot of it is just because we're keeping it up here and we're not getting that mapped out on paper, like a game plan. So the first thing is when you wake up in the morning, do not answer your phone first thing. Do not look at your phone first thing in the morning. I say this a lot, and that is how you start your day is how your day will go. So if you start your day with as soon as you open your eyes, grabbing your phone, looking at all the missed stuff from the night prior, looking at work emails, looking at your schedule about what you have to do that day, all that stuff, that craziness, that feeling of like, oh my God, I'm already behind, that is going to be the theme of the whole entire day. There's been a study done about people who make their beds in the morning. And it's said that if you make your bed in the morning, you tend to have a far more productive day. And I think that that's super interesting. And it's always proven true for me, as weird as it is. But it's how we start our day. By taking those 5 minutes to just tidy up, that is how our day carries on. It's really weird. So I'm going to get into lists and stuff like that. So you're going to like that a lot because I love lists too, but there's little tricks to them to make them not overwhelming as well. So you wake up in the morning and decide a time that you're going to start looking at your phone. I tell my clients, put it on, do not disturb. Get a different alarm clock from the pharmacy or from, I don't know, I think the dollar store even has them so that it wakes you up. But put your phone in a different room. Charge it in a different room. Get it the hell out of here and set your alarm to wake you up in the morning like old school, right? Then have that time of day where you know, all right, it's important for me to check my phone. And that's the other thing. If it's not really important for you to check your phone and get back to people before you physically get to work, don't. Nobody's giving you saint points for being the hardest worker in the room. And you're going to feel taken advantage of and burnt out and used because you're sitting there. The first thing on your mind is work in the morning, and nobody else realizes that or really cares. Everybody's just kind of in their own lane. So set a time for yourself to start looking and getting back to people on your phone. And if it's not necessary to do in that moment, don't do it. It's okay. A lot of us, our biggest overwhelm and stress comes from FOMO, fear of missing out. You're not going to miss out. Don't worry about it. Your office, some of you might hope it will, but your office will not burn down if you don't answer an email before you get into work. Okay? So once you get up, we can get into morning and nighttime routine on a different call. It's one that's planned. But, get your stuff together, get your food, whatever it is you have to do. And then when you get to work, take 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, and sit down, and in a notebook, I recommend getting a specific notebook for this, for daily structure only, and jot down what I call your non-negotiables. And that is the things that you absolutely are required to be at or do, whether that's work, whether that's, dropping off and picking up the kids, whether that's, I don't know, and doctor's appointments, anything, right? Write it down in a list. In that, you're going to see any availability you have to get stuff done. But also, I want you to write down things that you have to get done that day. So, hang on, allergies. So, you write down the timing that's non-negotiable here. This might make this easier. Timing of non-negotiables, and then tasks that must be completed that day. That's not saying like, oh, I have to do X, Y, and Z at work. These are my job responsibilities. This is where I want you to get nitty gritty, and I want you to write the tasks that are time sensitive, must be done. So that's one list. Well, two, I guess. But those are your non-negotiables. So you get to work, you map them out, right? Then I want you to make an I'd like to list. This is your basic to-do list. This is your basic running to-do list, and you can keep adding to this. So have one master if I can list, or I'd like to list. And this is going to be stuff that you need to get done, but there's no real pressing deadline. You would like to get it done. Okay? And that could be for work, for home, whatever. You're going to pick your frog from the list of stuff that must be completed that day. You're going to pick your frog. That's the one thing you are dreading. You really are putting off to the last minute, and you're like pissed off you even have to do it, but you gotta. That's the one you start with. Oh my God, my headband is like squeezing my head, circulation in my head. But pick your frog, okay? And then get started on that first. This is going to give you that sense of accomplishment early on in the day, because instead of having this impending cloud of doom because you know that frog's coming up, now you know, oh, I got that done with. So the rest is just like better. And you want to keep picking your frog throughout the day off of that list, the stuff you're dreading the absolute most. Now, stop viewing journaling as something that is silly or extra or a luxury or if you have time, right? No. The biggest thing about feeling in control of your day is that you are going to know, okay, I got this. I'm doing it. I'm writing this down. I'm planning this out. So if you're viewing journaling as a luxury item, then view your self-peace during the day as a luxury instead of a necessity, because that's what it means. Journaling doesn't have to be some big, 5-page entries, deep thoughts, long like it could truly just be jotting stuff down that nobody else could even read. You just know what the hell you wrote. You know, that's fine. It's for you and you only. It's just the point is to get it out of here and get it onto paper, because then it is not living in your head and making you feel like it's running your life. Okay? So stop fearing your schedule. Stop fearing journaling or thinking of it as silly. And when you make your non-negotiables, I don't want you to just put stuff on there that is just what's expected of you. I don't want you to just put work, cook, like stuff like that, or stuff for the kids, stuff for other people. I want you to include things for you. I want you to sit there and say, do I have to plan something for myself later to cook? Like, do I have to plan to go food shopping? Do I have to plan out my self-care so I don't push it off and then I'm in bed and I'm like, I'm too tired, I'll do it tomorrow? No. If you are not at your best, if you are not prioritizing yourself, you are going to feel unprioritized in every aspect of your life. And that's going to lend to you feeling like you're behind the 8 ball all the time. It's going to lend to you feeling like all you do is work and hustle. Meanwhile, you don't even, like, you're invisible. I've definitely been there before, and it's a really shitty feeling. So prioritize your damn self in there as well, okay? And one of the last tips I'm going to give you before we just start having some convo, I give you some good news, and then I look in the chat, is every Sunday and every night are 2 times, well, you know what I mean by 2 times, 2 types of times that you want to be planning. And it's not that you have to be diehard to that plan. My plans change every day. That's why on Sundays you plan out your week. On weeknights, like on the night prior, you look at your next day. So if taking 5 minutes in the morning and planning out your non-negotiables and all that junk is going to stress you out, because you know when you get into work, you're kind of like dead in the brain a little bit until you get the juices flowing, then plan the night prior only. But I want you to take a look at it day by day and also weekly. Okay, so Sunday nights, your ritual should be, let me look at what my week is looking like. What do I have to get done? What are some things I can put on my I'd like to list? You know, and get that done. And then each night you look at your next day and say, okay, do I have anything that's popped up? Is this still a feasible plan that I have here? Like, do I need to adjust this, account for this, whatever? It makes you feel super in control of each step that you take. Okay, so I'm going to save this whiteboard and I'll post it in the comments. Okay, so I want you guys, I'm going to give you guys some closing good news and new stuff coming your way. But in the meantime, I want you to ask me questions, and I want you anything at all in the chat, okay? Any questions at all, or if you need me to elaborate on anything. So in closing, I have some exciting stuff for you guys. One, the winner of the Meet of the Week photo posting, I'm going to be posting that in the chat tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that. The winner is going to be getting the gua sha and the jade roller, which is awesome. We posted one for this month already, for this week already. So if you're new, the idea is any meal that you make that falls within the guidelines that you and I discussed with your baby steps, you want to post that in the comments on the Meet of the Week thread. Even if it's different than the recipes that are in the Meet of the Week, it doesn't matter. The person who posts the most pictures at the end of the month will win whatever it is the giveaway prize is for that month. So I haven't quite decided on what I want my giveaway item to be this month. So I decided to open it up to you guys and ask if there was one thing that you see me using regularly, just to give me some feedback. If you can, message me and just give me some suggestions. And then when I announce the winner, I'll tell you guys what the giveaway prize is for July. Also, the exercise challenge that I'm starting with you guys, I want to start that hard start next Monday. And we're going to start with the planks. And I'm going to have some threads and some giveaways up for you guys to help keep you accountable with that as well. So some of you who work out regularly, that might be like, what the hell is that? I'm just going to do a couple planks. But a lot of us are at very different fitness levels. Some of us have illnesses of our joints and our connective tissue, so it's really hard to move and stuff. So the exercises I picked are all low impact, and they strengthen the muscles surrounding the major issue groups, like the back, the hips, the knees, the elbows, like things like that. So they actually strengthen the supporting muscles over time. So they help you not put so much strain on the parts that hurt you. And it's just, if you work out regularly, it should be a piece of cake. So why not join in the fun and just be a part of the group with everyone? Because some of us haven't worked out in like forever. Me. So I'll be starting that on Monday with you guys. Look out for the threads and the posts for that. You guys are going to love this. I'm going to be telling you guys more in detail over the next week or so. I want to start group food planning, group food prep sessions together so that we can put them in our calendars and hold each other accountable. Because I know the number one thing is like, yeah, I'm going to do that, because I do it too. I'm going to do that, and then like life takes over and you're like, when the hell am I actually going to do this regularly? It just doesn't feel like a habit yet. So getting that habit of just gathering your stuff so you have the easiest time cooking as possible, that itself, even though your food is going to be easier, seems overwhelming because it's so different than what you've been doing, which is just go, 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 go. So keep an eye out for that. We're going to do like schedule in little times for us collectively to prep breakfast, prep lunches, prep snacks for us to have around the house, things like that. And I'll explain more about the structure of how that will look on the page in the next week or so. So I'm super excited about that. I'm not going to do it on Zoom because it's a pain in the ass to like turn on for you guys to have Zoom on while you're like prepping and stuff, but you'll like how I'm going to format it. All right. I'm looking for questions. Oh, no questions. Okay, cool. So my closing statement here is, whenever you guys feel the mounting stress coming up to here, where it feels nearly impossible for you to think positive in that moment, where it's like if someone looks at you, it's like, think on the bright side, usually me, you want to like punch them in the face, right? I take no offense. When you feel those moments coming on, that is especially when you should force yourself to jot down one sentence about what you're feeling. Write it on your own. I'm feeling blank. And then I want you to follow it up with what you want to feel instead. Those of you who aren't fully on board with the law of attraction stuff, I get it. It's a little hokey at first. I thought the same thing. I was like, this is a bunch of bull. It's life-changing, which we'll get into. But in the meantime, a realistic use for it is write what you're feeling. So you sit there in that moment and you're just like, okay, this is what I'm feeling. I'm feeling pissed off. I'm feeling stressed. I'm feeling overwhelmed, suffocated, whatever. And then I want you to write what you want to feel. But here's the kicker. When you write what you want to feel, don't write what you don't want to feel with the word not in front of it. Like, I don't, or don't. Like, I don't want to feel stressed. That's still putting that out. That's still saying stress, right? So instead, you want to say, I want to feel at peace. I want to feel calm. I want to feel safe, loved, secure, heard, whatever the adjective or adverb is. I want you to put that there, but I don't want you to include just like writing the opposite of, like, I don't want to feel this. That doesn't work either. That still keeps you in the dumps. Okay. So, and that tends to help you come down about the stress, out of that stress rage, where then you can text me and I can fully walk you through fixing it. But that's my closing remark for you guys. You all have the power to control how damn stressed you get. I know life be rough, but you have me, you have us, you have the page, you have a ton of resources at your disposal. And every single one of you guys, I believe in every single one of you. I don't give a shit if you ate a cookie right before the Zoom. I believe in all of you. Okay. So keep me in a loop. I hope this was helpful. I'll post this recording and keep an eye out on the page for the updates. Let me know if you have any ideas for the giveaway for this month, because I'll take all into consideration. All right. Mwah. Love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your night and let me know how you like this. Bye.